My Dean Truth here. So we got COVID-19 keeping people in the house for up to 6 weeks, 6 to 10 weeks. So while they're keeping you in the house for 6 to 10 weeks, there's two problems. One problem is the human body needs exercise every day, a minimum 3 times a week, 60 minutes a day, 3 times a week. And the body needs vitamin D. The only time you get vitamin D is between the hours of 10, 11, and 4 o'clock. So just say between 11 and 4 is the only time you can get vitamin D, because the sun got to be at a certain angle where it can penetrate our atmosphere, and it can only really penetrate the atmosphere when it's above us, not when it's like rising or lowering. But the other problem is people that live above the South Carolina line, nobody's getting enough vitamin D. So from North Carolina up, Maryland, DC, Virginia, Canada, New York, no one's getting enough vitamin D. You can get this proven if you go to your doctor, get a blood test, and you'll see your vitamin D levels are low, unless you're taking vitamin D pills on the regular. So I definitely recommend any pill you're going to take, if you live above the South Carolina line, that you should take vitamin D pills. But when you take vitamin D pills, you got to know that they got gelatin in it. Gelatin is an animal product. So if you got issues, look for the halal gelatin or look for the vegan gelatin. So that pretty much recaps everything. Vitamin D is good. It's important for the immune system. So you gotta have vitamin D at this time. We staying in the house and we messing up our immune system. So we making our immune systems worse. And that is not good. So keep isolated, but you still come out the house to walk. You don't really run. It's people out here, but nobody gotta interact with anybody. Can't stay in the house watching TV for the next 6 to 8 weeks. You're gonna come out, everybody's gonna be fat and more unhealthier, unfortunately. And that's the bad thing, because we trying to fight this COVID-19. Everybody gotta get healthy. So everybody need to exercise. Everybody needs to get the vitamin D one way or the other. Very important. And kids ain't learning, so we gotta get the kids to learn. I'm just pretty much concentrating on math, science, English, and nature, and everything else gonna get thrown to the side for the moment until I find some way to incorporate everything. But we on the move. I wasn't prepared for it, but we're gonna make it work, and they're gonna continue to learn on a great level. Peace. Peace. This is an addendum to the video you just saw. Everything I speak of is always evidence-based, not pulling it out my ass or anything, and it's based off research. So with that being said, healthline.com. Can vitamin D lower your risk of COVID-19? Vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin that plays a number of critical roles in your body. The nutrient is especially important for your immune system health, leaving many people to wonder whether supplementing vitamin D may help reduce the risk of contracting the new coronavirus that causes COVID-19. It's important to note that there's currently no cure for COVID-19 and no preventative measures other than social distancing and proper hygiene practices can protect you from developing this disease. That said, some research shows that having healthy levels of vitamin D, as well as taking vitamin D supplement, can keep your immune system healthy and may protect against respiratory illness in general. This article explains how vitamin D affects immune health and how supplementing with this nutrient may help protect against respiratory conditions. How does vitamin D affect immune health? Vitamin D is necessary for the proper functioning of your immune system, which is your body's first line of defense against infection and disease. This vitamin plays a critical role in promoting immune system response. It has both anti-inflammatory and immune regulatory properties and is crucial for activation of immune system defenses. Vitamin D is known to enhance the function of immune cells, including T cells and macrophages, that protect your body against pathogens. In fact, the vitamin is so important for immune function that low levels of vitamin D have been associated with an increased susceptibility to infection, disease, and autoimmune related disorders. For example, low vitamin D levels are associated with an increased risk of respiratory diseases, including tuberculosis, asthma, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, as well as viral and bacterial respiratory infections. What's more, vitamin D deficiency has been linked to decreased lung function, which may affect your body's ability to fight respiratory infections. COVID-19 is that a respiratory infection. Uh, Can taking vitamin D protect against COVID-19? Currently, there's no cure or treatment for COVID-19. No studies have investigated the effect of vitamin D supplements or vitamin D deficiency on the risk of contracting the new coronavirus that causes COVID-19. Still, multiple studies have shown that vitamin D deficiency can harm immune health and increase your risk of developing respiratory illnesses. Additionally, some studies have indicated that vitamin D supplements can enhance immune response and protect against respiratory infections overall. A recent review that included 11,321 people from 14 countries demonstrated that supplementing with vitamin D decreased the risk of acute respiratory infections, ARI, in both those who were deficient in vitamin D and those with adequate levels. Overall, the study showed that vitamin D supplements reduced the risk of developing at least one ARI by 12%. The protective effect was strongest in those with low-level vitamin D levels. Moreover, the review found that vitamin D supplements were most effective at protecting against ARI when taken daily or weekly in small doses and less effective when taken in larger, widely spaced doses. Vitamin D supplements have also been shown to reduce mortality in older adults who are most at risk for developing respiratory illnesses like COVID-19. Keep in mind, there is no scientific evidence that taking supplemental vitamin D can protect you from developing COVID-19. However, being deficient in the vitamin D may increase your susceptibility to overall infection and disease by harming immune functions. This is especially worrisome given that many are deficient in vitamin D, especially older individuals who are most at risk of developing more serious COVID-19 related complications. For these reasons, it's a good idea to have your healthcare provider test your vitamin D levels to determine whether you have a deficiency in this important nutrient. By the way, I had said that you should go get your levels tested, and I pulled up this article after I did my video. So obviously we kind of agree on a lot of things. Anyway, I'm going to continue. Depending on your blood levels, supplementing with 1,000 to 4,000 IU of vitamin D per day is typically sufficient for most people. However, those with low blood levels will often require much higher doses to increase their levels to an optimal range. Though recommendations on what constitutes an optimal vitamin D level vary, most experts agree that vitamin D levels lie in between 30 to 60 nanograms per milliliter, 75 to 150 nanomilliliters. I don't know what the OL is, but it's nanomilliliters per liter. Summary: evidence that vitamin D supplements reduce the risk of developing COVID-19 is lacking, but healthy vitamin D levels can enhance immune health. Plus, vitamin D supplements may protect against respiratory infections in general. So what they're saying is they haven't done any test trials to say, yeah, they can't say yes because they haven't done test trials to prove it. But they've done test trials to prove other things that's closely related to it. So that's what they're trying to say. Bottom line, vitamin D plays many important roles in your body, including promoting the health of your immune system. Scientific research suggests that supplementing with vitamin D may protect against respiratory infections, especially among those who are deficient in that vitamin. Still, keep in mind that there's currently no evidence that taking any supplements, including vitamin D, reduces the risk of COVID-19 as a result of contracting the SARS coronavirus 2 coronavirus. If you're interested in supplementing with vitamin D to enhance your overall immune response, consult your health provider for information on proper dosing. So they give all their disclaimers. They're not saying this is a end all be all cure vitamin D. This is just one of many things. So it's like when you take class, you got different classes and that makes you whole. This is just one of many things, but this is an important thing. Vitamin D supports your immune system, and it's just so many deadly toxins that we come in to on a daily occasion, and you can only get your vitamin D in the sun, and only during premium hours of between 10 o'clock and 4 p.m. You can't get a good amount of vitamin D outside of those hours in the sun. And then when you're further north or to the north to the North Pole, further south to the South Pole, and away from the equator, no one's getting vitamin D. Everybody in Canada, no one in Canada is getting vitamin D levels, adequate vitamin D. Nobody in the U.S. above the North Carolina parallel line is getting enough vitamin D. So that's why I definitely personally recommend supplementing vitamin D and taking it like they said on a daily basis or as daily as you can. And hey, go to your doctor, see if your doctor agrees. Ask your doctor. Of course, I'm not a doctor, so hey, confirm with them. Hey, make sure you check your vitamin D levels. This is important to check your vitamin D levels. You can pay $100 to somebody, and I think you can get the test on CVS, but it costs $100. I just get the blood test and get all your levels. Have your doctor check for everything you can. Get the blood taken one time and test for it, and then maybe 6 months later, get it retested. If say if you got low vitamin D, all right, now you start taking the pills and see if it increases. See if it does. But hey, the evidence is there. Go to this website. You can go to the actual article. You see they had like everything is evidence based. So if you go over, they got the list of all the articles, all the research papers, because they had maybe 16 17 research papers that was based on there. So if you go to the article, they provide you the link to the research papers. Peace.